What's up, it's Tony, and I'm back with another video, and I gotta go straight to what's going on. I gotta give y'all my instant reaction, my real biased reaction. Everything I'm about to say is biased, but it's evidence-based. Kendrick is the GOAT. He's back outside. And that's the thing that I am scared for other people, is that when he comes outside, you see the carnage, you see the chaos that he creates. The nigga dropped a video saying he was gonna do the Super Bowl. It created all of this uproar. The nigga drops a song. And you know what's about to happen? It's going to be a bunch of people saying it's mid. Then there's going to be a bunch of people saying, oh my goodness, he's going crazy. And they're going to try to make it have 30 different meanings. And they're going to try to decipher who is it about. Regardless of any of that, we'll get to that part towards the end. The real, honest truth, he is the greatest of all time. He is the greatest of this generation. And it's not only because the quality, but it's because he doesn't just give you so much. He gives you quality over quantity. A lot of people want him to drop a lot.
Yeah, I put him over.
It's hard for me to really put
Exactly.
Kendrick in these
That's what I'm saying, because
Joe,
it's not. It's
I'm
not
trying not
competitive
to,
anymore. That's
Joe,
what I'm saying.
Kendrick
It's not
don't
competitive
drop
anymore.
enough music for me personally.
No. That is not what makes a legend. A legend is the impact. And when somebody has this much impact without dropping as much as everybody else, you start to understand that less is really more. Because every time he drops, every video he posts on YouTube, anytime he tweets, anytime he posts a song on Instagram, it sends our society in a blaze. It sends the culture up in flames. Because people, it's like, the thing about Kendrick is that you cannot disrespect him. Of course, there's going to be people that disrespect him. So forget about the exception to everything. Forget about that. You can't disrespect him. You cannot say he's whack. Because the numbers show, the talent shows, the bars show, the greatest of the greatest love him, the greatest of the greatest respect him. Even the niggas that don't rap like him or are not on his level respect him and say, yo, this guy is a different being. This guy is different. He is one of the greatest. And I'm done with saying one of the greatest. In my bias and humble opinion, he is the greatest of all time. He's the greatest that I've ever seen. His impact alone. His impact is when Omar comes on the block. All Omar has to do is check it out. Here it comes.
Something ain't right, yo.
Watch out, man. Here come that fool. It's packing.
So come on, yo, Omar's coming, man. Oh, shit!
And you know what they do when Omar walks down that block? Whistling with his shotgun? Drop those drugs out of the window. No ifs, ands, or buts. Don't make me talk to you. Don't make me argue with you. Give me what I came for. Like when Omar comes out, you give him what he deserves. You give him what his work, what his terror deserves. You drop those drugs out of that window. You give him the drugs. You tell him where the stash is at. Kendrick, when he comes out, you give him your full attention. Hate him, love him. You give him your full attention. You respect his craft. And you just acknowledge that he is one of them. And he's not one of them. He is the them. You know how they say, I'm him? No. He is the them. He is the them. He is the him. It's no other him but Kendrick. Some people going to listen to this song and try to say, oh, they don't like how slow it is. They don't care for what he's talking about. That's when I start to realize that you motherfuckers only want one thing. Y'all only want the thing that makes you, oh my goodness, I feel like I'm having a great vibe. Oh my goodness, I feel like I can dance to this. I feel like I can shake my ass to this. Bro, chill. Like Kendrick says in the song, it's time for the party to die. A lot of niggas is having fun. A lot of niggas is popping mollies and doing every type of drug. And, you know, the whip it thing is coming out. Everybody's just trying to have a good time. At what point are you going to look in that mirror and say, it's time for the party to die. It's time for the party to end. Let's get serious. It's too much real shit going on for everything to be a party, a hip hip hooray. And that's why Kendrick is the greatest, bro. He not only has a message, but he explains his message so well that even a bozo, the dun that's going to say is mid, at some point you got to listen and be like, oh, what? I understand what he's saying. That shit makes sense. Kendrick is the greatest, and he's outside. He's outside. He does this so randomly. Just drop a song. On a Wednesday night, I'm trying to watch Asia Wilson kill the fever. She's cooking them. She just got the most points in the season. I'm trying to watch her. I'm looking on Twitter just to see what people saying about Asia so I could talk about it for the next pod. And they say Kendrick drop. I go and this nigga is spitting. And I don't like to do podcasts and keep looking on my phone and looking back up. But this is the podcast where I have to pull out the phone and tell y'all what this nigga is talking about. The first verse is my favorite verse. And it let me know that he was not coming to play around. Some of you guys was looking for a diss. I'm not looking for a diss. I'm looking for Kendrick music. And I know when Kendrick drop, it's quality music. I'm going to just tell you a few things that I took from the verse. These aren't the only things that I took from the verse, but these are a few things that stood out to me. In the first verse, he says, burn the whole village down to start over. It's really that time. Yes, bro. Let's just erase all the bullshit that's going on so we can get into a better time. A lot of people say hip-hop is in a bad space. A lot of people say this new generation is bad. Okay, they were influenced by something. Let's just erase all of that bullshit and start over so we can raise good people in the world. I don't know how that's whack. I don't know how you could tell me that's whack. That's tough. And everybody is not saying that in their songs. Big Sean just put out a Healed album that you guys didn't like. A grown Healed album. And I didn't hear Big Sean saying any of that. And I'm not trying to do the comparison of Big Sean and Kendrick. I'm just saying, like, there are people that's doing what y'all would consider conscious or grown or healed. And they're not saying the same thing that Kendrick is saying. Another thing he said. It's love, but tough love sometimes have to result in violence. You ever had a younger sibling? I have a younger sibling. He hard-headed. He want to do what he want to do. He's a young man. You love that person. You love your younger sibling. But sometimes you got to give them tough love so they can learn a lesson, so they can be better for later. Sometimes you got to yoke them up or, yo, bro, what are you doing? You got to give them tough love. And sometimes that tough love can lead to violence. And the violence is not just so you can show, yo, I'm the alpha. I'm in charge of you. I tell you what to do. No. Sometimes it's because, you ever heard the saying, if you don't hear, you'll feel, like what your parents would say to you. I keep on telling you advice out of love, but sometimes I got to give you the tough love or either putting my hands on you or the tough love or just letting you fuck up. And then once you fuck up and you feel how that feeling feels, you will understand better than me just showing you my love by continuing to gentle parent you or continuing to try to guide you gently. Sometimes your love has to be tough. It has to be tough love. And with the tough love, it may result into violence. But in the violence, there is still love there. You still want the best for a person. That's fire to me. That's a whole conversation you could have about it's love. What I'm doing to you is love, but it's tough love. And sometimes this tough love that I'm going to give you is going to result in violence. But at the end of the day, I love you. And the main objective I want us to get to with me giving you that tough love and that violence is that I want you to be better. I want you to want better for yourself. That is fire to me. Next thing he says, parade and gluttony without giving the truth to the youth. But I'm taking that in as a celebrity, as an influencer, as somebody that's a role model that people look up to and may aspire to be, right? If you only show them your gluttony or you show them a whole bunch of, oh, I could get any car, I could get any girl, I could just get all of the girls, I could get all of the cars, just a bunch of gluttony. Without giving them the truth of what you had to do to get it, they will never understand. You're doing them a disservice by only showing them the results of your hard work, which is the gluttony, your ability to have whatever you want and a lot of whatever you want. If you only show them that, they're only going to try to get to that. They're only going to worry about the result. They're not going to fall in love with the process of getting that, of attaining that. So it's like you're doing the youth a disservice because they're only worried about, oh, I need to be able to have 10 cars. I need to be able to have 10 partners. I need to have every girl in the world. No, the truth is that if you go down this road, there's a lot of ups and downs. There's a lot of bumps in the road that you have to get over to get to that. And even when you get to that, you still might not be satisfied. Again, how can that not be fire? His bars, the things that he say, I know that they one sentence and he's saying it in a low voice on a smooth instrumental. But those one bars, those one sentences, those are conversation starters. He's one of the only rappers currently right now that when he puts out music, you have to go to Genius. You have to listen clearly multiple times. And yo, what is he saying? What does he mean by this? Starting a conversation, starting discourse. For the person that I am, discourse is the best thing. That's why I like bad comments. That's why I like feedback and criticism. That's why I also like positive comments, because regardless, it's discourse. And it builds a community. And you may get something from the person that's saying something negative about you. You might get something from the person that's saying positive things about you. But his one bars causing a whole bunch of discourse is why I love music, is why I love Kendrick Lamar, because he's not just doing something for you to just listen to blindly, to just listen to and just have a good time. Oh my goodness, yay. No, bro, really listen. Niggas don't want to listen, though. They'll say it's whack and mid because you have to listen to the song. I don't get that. Another line he says, they party more than bitches. Tell me, what are you working for? Has to do with, it's time for the party to die. Yo, it's just a bunch of partying. What are you working towards? Everything just can't be great and fine and dandy. What are you really working for? What are you trying to get? What goal are you trying to reach? And this is all in the first verse. So I'm not going to go too crazy because I want y'all to listen to the song. So I'm going to just do one more bar from the first verse that I really fucked with. And then I'm going to go to the second verse. So the last thing I took from the first verse is influencers talk down because I'm not with the basic shit. That right there explains the whole issue with people not liking Kendrick Lamar. You seen Mace talk bad about him. You seen Cameron talk bad about him. You seen a whole bunch of influencers, Maul, DJ Academics, a whole bunch of influencers talk bad about Kendrick because, oh, you can't dance to this song. Who's playing Kendrick in the club? Who's playing Kendrick in the car? I'm only playing Kendrick in the headphones. You're not playing Kendrick around the girls. You just don't fuck with him because he don't want to only do the basic route. He doesn't only want to talk about the basic thing that everybody is talking about. If you take a second and just put on a playlist of just people in rap, any rappers, they're all talking about similar things. It's basic. It's generic. How many times can you feel that same feeling that all of them are telling you? So people don't like him because it's not popular. And to be honest, I'm not with what's popular. I'm with what makes me feel something. And that basic shit that Kendrick is referring to doesn't make me feel anything. That's why a lot of people are starting to feel like, yo, hip hop is in a bad space or it's oversaturated. Yes, those two things are true because what's popular is the basic shit. When are people going to try to be different? I thought people became artists and creatives to be different, to have different perspectives, do it in a different way. Everybody is doing it in the same way right now. And all the influencers are liking the same thing and hating other people that are doing different things, that are not just a part of this factory line of basic shit being created over and over and over. So when an artist actually comes on that line, or when an artist finally interrupts the course of that factory line of basic shit, they be like, what is this person doing? And they start to hate. I can't hate on him. I can't hate on Kendrick because he is the greatest, bro. That's all first verse. That's all in his first verse. And there was more. I have bullet points of things that he said in the first verse. That is crazy to me. And some of them are diss to not just to Drake, but diss to the culture as a whole. And that's what I fuck with about Kendrick. He's not only talking to one person. Like, yes, he smoked Drake. Yes, he did that. Yes, he got the Super Bowl. Now let's address the culture. And when he starts to address the culture, like what he did on the Heart Part 5 and what he's doing now, I feel like the culture, you see that is something that they really want and really gets a reaction out of people. And that is why he is him. It's clear. Now in the second verse, it's probably going to be the thing that goes the most viral and whatever. And I already knew that. You already know who they're going to suspect it's about. He says, radio personality pushing propaganda for salary. Who do you think he's talking about? People are suspecting that he's talking about Ack. And it's probably true. Academic has a whole page where it's basically about pushing Drake propaganda. If anybody says something that doesn't go in the favor of Drake, that page will find a way to say, oh, this person shouldn't be talking about Drake like this. Or, yo, Drake is this god in hip hop and stuff like that. And Drake is a great in hip hop. Don't get me wrong. But that page is doing a lot of pushing Drake propaganda. It's just a Drake fan page that pushes all of Drake messages and bashes anybody that may go against Drake. And I've seen the page do that. So they probably talking about academics, but there's the content creators, like he said in the first verse. There's other influencers that don't really like Kendrick and will push propaganda from the other side, like the Drake fans, and try to diminish what Kendrick did and try to say, oh, he didn't win the battle, just pushing propaganda to lift their favorite up, but they're not telling the truth. They're just pushing propaganda. And again, another conversation. The conversation could go deeper to, do you feel like radio personalities or media personalities should have some objectivity and not just only push their favorites? Kendrick is my favorite rapper, but I'm not going to only push Kendrick songs and Kendrick music and say that he's the greatest and everybody else sucks. I would never say that. And if I say that, I'm saying it jokingly. I give Drake his credit. And I say, like, for instance, I would love to see a Drake Super Bowl. I think it would be fire. And I think if he mend all these relationships, he can have one of the best Super Bowls ever. Dead serious. He is a star. He is one of the greatest of all time. I don't care about the ghostwriting. I don't care about none of the other stuff. Musically, Drake is one of the greatest of all time. And I'm not going to hate on him on this YouTube. I would never do that. If I don't like the song, I'm going to say that. But that's not hate. That's just me not liking something. That's just my preference. But the last 3-pack that I heard, it was fire. And the other songs before that, they weren't bad, but they just wasn't the Drake that I want. I want to hear rapping Drake. I want to hear a big single from Drake. And that's not what I'm getting. But that last 3-pack was fire. But I feel like media personalities and radio personalities should have some objectivity at some point. For instance, Maul it just seems like he is now a Kendrick hater. There's some bits and pieces of him showing Kendrick love, but with this whole thing, it's like he wants to push this Drake propaganda to try to say, yo, this is what y'all like right now. And I think that's whack. I think the third verse is tough as well. But I feel like a lot of the things that he's saying in the third verse is very just simple. But he gets into this pocket. It's just so fire to me. So fire. So fire. I think a lot of people are going to like the third verse. In my opinion, the first verse is the best verse. Best verse. He comes out hot. Even though the instrumental is very smooth and calm and collected, the things that he's saying are impactful. And that is why Kendrick is the greatest of all time to me. Nobody can fuck with him. They not trash. The other greats are not trash, but they can't fuck with Kendrick to me. And y'all can say it's mid. Y'all can say I don't like the song. All I know is that there are a few people that when they press the button and say go, the whole culture just freezes and looking around like the SpongeBob meme where everybody's just throwing a bunch of papers and just running around because it's chaos. That is what Kendrick creates. That's the impact of Kendrick dropping. That is the impact of Kendrick being outside. Kendrick is really Super Saiyan Sharif. And if you watch that movie, I just want y'all to watch that movie. Especially because Kendrick is saying it's time for the party to die in this song so much. Sharif at parties is like the party killer. He's the buzzkill because he want to have introspective conversations and deep conversations about trying to fix the things that are going on around him. And people are like, bro, nobody want to hear that. Kendrick is just that on a whole nother level. Watch the movie. I'm telling you, Menace to Society, it's a great movie. I know everybody like Old Dog and they like Kane and all of those people, but watch Sharif. Every time he comes on, he just has a message and he may kill the vibe. Like he's a vibe shifter. He's a mood changer. And that is literally what Kendrick is. But the way he changes the mood and the vibe is just it's way more impactful. Like he shifts the whole table. He turns the table upside down. And again, Kendrick is really the greatest of all time. If you don't like this song, comment below. I'm going to think you're wrong, but comment below and maybe we can have a discourse back and forth about it. But This just made me more hyped for the Super Bowl performance and more hyped for the next album that he comes out with. Because it might be something crazy. And y'all gonna say that y'all don't like it, and it's gonna shift the fucking culture. He's a culture shifter. Speaking of culture shifters, I hope to be that one day. With this podcast, with this YouTube channel, I hope to impact something, just a little bit. And hopefully I will. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and tell a friend to tell a friend. It's Tony from the It's Tony podcast, and I'll see y'all in the next video.